You're listening to the Results Driven Organizations podcast with Dr. Tanya Lowe, a podcast of curated conversations with C-suite leaders and those who support organizational growth and development. Get ready for inspiring interviews, educational lessons, and thought-provoking discussions that will challenge you to execute something new and innovative that will drive results in your organization. And now, here's Dr. Tanya Lowe.
Hello, you're listening to episode 21 of the Results Driven Organizations podcast with Dr. Tanya Lowe. Using my results-driven philosophy of strategy, leadership, teams, and customer experiences, I help organizations develop their best kept secret, their human capital. This podcast is designed to expand the conversation with C-suite leaders and those who support organizational growth and development and what it really takes to create, develop, and maintain results-driven and high-performing organizations. So leaders, I have a question for you. Is your workplace safe? Seriously, I want you to take a moment and be honest about the safety of your workplace, both on-site and virtual. You may think your workplace is safe because you have smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, and first aid kits, but that's not enough. I'm talking about psychological safety. If you listen to episode 000, I talk about being in an abusive relationship with my job. As a young woman in my early 20s, looking to learn and was eager to please, I found myself in the most horrible position I could find at that time in my life. It led to panic attacks and the reoccurring Sunday night, Monday morning blues. I didn't know much about psychological safety then, but I did know my coworkers and I didn't feel safe at work. Now, almost 30 years later, with a master's degree in counseling and psychological services and tons of consulting experience under my belt, including psychological safety, it's time we delve into this vital topic. Unfortunately, that wasn't my only experience with an unsafe workplace. And I've learned over the last 15 years as a consultant, many workplaces are not psychologically safe. According to a McKinsey & Company report, few leaders display the behaviors that can instill psychological safety, and employee experiences vary greatly depending on how leaders act. That's really unfortunate. In 2009, there was a nationwide survey conducted of almost 1,600 employees. 70% of those employees reported feeling negative work relationships, interpersonal conflicts, lack of peer support, and social isolation. In another study in 2014, Global Workforce Study, which is the name of the study, conducted a research with over 32,000 employees, and 76 did not feel engaged nor supported in their work environment on a daily basis. So let's define psychological safety. The Center for Creative Leadership defines psychological safety as the belief that you won't be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, concerns, or mistakes. Psychological safety at work, in particular, is a shared belief held by members of a team that others on the team will not embarrass, harass, reject, or punish you for speaking up. Altman of the Center for Creative Leadership says, when you have psychological safety in the workplace, people feel comfortable being themselves. They bring their full selves to work and feel okay laying all of themselves on the line. Basically, psychological safety in a work capacity is all about creating an environment in which employees feel accepted and respected. All employees feel accepted and respected. You've heard me say this before. It is the leader's job to set the expectation when it comes to how people are treated in the workplace. You can no longer just focus on the bottom line. You can no longer just focus on sales. Your human capital is important. It is vital and they matter. A positive team climate is the most important driver of psychological safety and most likely to occur when leaders demonstrate supportive, consultative behaviors, then begin to challenge their teams. The McKinsey and Company report provides 3 points on how to do just that. And the first point is develop leaders at all levels. Organizations that invest in leadership development are more likely to see leader behaviors that foster psychological safety, as well as some other behaviors that you may want to see. Number 2, leadership development must include group dynamics, self-awareness, cultural awareness, mindful listening, unconscious bias, situational humility, and sponsorship. And the third thing is the C-suite goes first. According to the data, fostering psychological safety at scale begins with companies' most senior leaders developing and embodying the leadership behaviors that they want to see across the organization. The workplace is changing, and we must change with it. There are ways to identify if your workplace is psychologically safe or unsafe, and I will provide you with a link to the Amy Edmondson's team psychological safety assessment questions and scoring in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today. I am Dr. Tanya Lowe, CEO of the Resurgent Group of Metro Atlanta, and I help organizations develop their best kept secret, their human capital. And I would love to help you with your human capital needs. Visit the show notes where you can grab a copy of Results-Driven Organizations, The 4 Keys to a High-Performance Workplace, the Amazon #1 bestseller, the Psychological Safety Assessment, and be sure to grab our special gift to you for being a valued listener. Until next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Results Driven Organizations podcast with Dr. Tanya Lowe. Be sure to review the show notes for the resources mentioned, and don't forget to grab your free gift available at freegiftfromtanya.com. Until next time.